Hi folks, we're looking at Dr. Baukham's book, Jesus and the Eyewitness, the Gospels as Eyewitness Testimony, Richard Bauckham, 2006, Erdmont, and we're on page 5 now. He says, it is true that a powerful trend in modern development of critical historical philosophy and methods finds trusting the testimony a stumbling block in the way of the historian's autonomous access to that she or he can verify independently, but it is also rather neglected fact that all history, like all knowledge, relies on testimony. Page 5. Yeah, there's been a double standard within scholarship, I think, and I think that the theory of understanding history needs to change within the academic world when it comes to historical Jesus studies. We'll just deconstruct this. It is true that a powerful trend in modern development of critical historical philosophy and method finds trusting the testimony a stumbling block in the way of historians' autonomous access to truth that she or he can verify independently. Now it's interesting that ancient historians, which we'll get into, had great store in eyewitness material. Also, there has been a trend between macro and micro understanding of history. You see, there's been a big emphasis over for a long time since Rank, a historian, on macro history, that is looking at history on a big compartment, looking at history from general perspectives or politicians' perspectives. But there's also since the 60s been more of an emphasis on a micro level of understanding of history, and that is to say that we look at what ordinary people are thinking, what are they saying, and we take their material, their eyewitness material, their stories, their diaries. So what I'm saying is that maybe this reluctance on modern historiography of not wanting to take eyewitness material seriously is because it's been saddled with this kind of macro understanding of history without realizing the need to listen to the testimonies of individuals and to learn from what those are saying. I understand that historians study diaries and letters and all the rest of it, but why is it that we don't allow that kind of historical work inform us about the historical Jesus studies? Why are we prejudiced? Maybe it's because there's been a running battle for the last 200 years between secularism and church, and there's been a vying of power of wanting to control public space. Part of that is to undermine Christianity's intellectual foundations, and one of those is the Gospels, and the New Testament is based on eyewitness material, and so to disparage that would also to undermine Christianity. But I think as academics you need to come back and realise that this is not acceptable, that you're not here to play power games, you're here to do historical study in a more fair way, in the best and fair way that you can. And then he says that but it is also rather neglected fact that all history, like all knowledge, relies on testimony. And so therefore there's the rub, that we can't just ignore the fact that if we're going to do history, it's ultimately based on testimony. We've got to be consistent. Where does that leave us in terms of Christianity? Well, I think Baukham's project is saying we've got to get back to a fair practice of history, and a serious commitment to seeing what eyewitness material there is and what we can learn from that material.